Today I'm going to show you 3 smart places to add call to actions on your website without sounding like a pushy salesman. And instead of just talking about it, I'm going to walk you through a real WordPress page and show you step by step how to level it up so visitors actually take action without feeling sold to. Because if you're anything like me when I started, you probably have great content, but your site's just kind of sitting there. No clicks, no signups. All right, so here's what we're working with. This is a simple demo homepage created specifically for this video. And honestly, it's not bad at all. As you can see, this is for a freelance copywriter's website, but this could be any business website at all. And we can see that it's got a headline, a bit of text, a nice image, and then further on down, it's got sections for what they do, testimonials, and a lot more on this homepage. But if I'm a visitor visiting this site for the first time, I'm going to read the headline right here. I'm going to read this text, and then I'm not really going to know what to do next because there is no call to action. So there's no next step or no action to take at this point. So I might just scroll down, or I might head on up to the navigation bar here and click through to try and find what I'm looking for. And this right here, this is why so many sites get traffic, but no conversions. People come, they get what they need, and they leave. No email, no inquiry, no lead. Not because your content sucks, but because you didn't show them what to do next. So let's fix that. We're going to start with the first and most overlooked call to action placement. And no, it's not the footer. We're going straight to the top. First up, your homepage above the fold. This is the first thing visitors see when they land on your site. And most of them, they don't scroll, like at all. According to research done by Hotjar, this top section is one of the most clicked parts on any site, if you give people something to click on. But here's the problem. Most websites either leave it blank or go full buy now mode with a giant red button screaming for attention. Neither works. So let's fix our page right now. Okay, so that has now opened up the block editor for this page. I'm just going to scroll down a bit so that we can see the heading and the image and everything. So we can see the above the fold elements here, like this heading, text, and image. And what I want to do here is I want to improve this bit of text here and drop a button below it. When you're doing this, you're going to have to think about the main action that you want someone to take on your site, because all your call to actions should actually focus on that one main action. It might be okay now and again to add another different call to action if you've got a free guide or something like that that you want to advertise across your site. But in general, all your call to actions should be focused on the visitor taking one clear action on the site. And as this website for a freelance copywriter, and they talk about all the different services they do for businesses, and they've helped over 250 clients. The main thing they want to happen on this site is for people to contact them. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this bit of text here to lead on to a contact me button. So let's do that right now. So I've got a bit of text here that I'm going to copy and paste in. So we're going to go from over 15 years, I've helped 250 plus clients to improve their websites, to adding text that says, I've helped 250 plus clients improve their websites. Drop me a message to grab my 3 quick homepage fixes to help you get more leads fast. Okay, so that's pointing people towards the button that's going to be below. So let's add that button in now. So I'm just going to open up the block inserter here, and you'll see that I'm using the Astra theme on this site, and the Astra theme has these Spectra blocks that come with it. If you've got a different theme on your site, you might see different blocks here as well. And I'm going to use the button block from the Spectra blocks because I like that one, but you might have a different button block, so use that as well. I'm going to click on it, drag and drop it into place here. And now that's dropped into place. I'm just going to realign it over here so it matches up with the text above. And then I'm going to click on it to open. Just going to close the block inserter to open this up. I'm going to click on it to edit the text. I'm just going to type in contact me. So fairly simple. Obviously, this is a demo site. I might come up with something different if I had a bit more time, or if I spent a bit more time on this. Obviously, you're going to come up with something different for your site, but this is just an example. So we've added that button in there. And if we want to open up the settings for that button, we'll just open up the sidebar here. Now we can see our button settings in this sidebar. And the most important setting here is that we connect up this button to the appropriate place on our site. So we're just going to close this presets. We're just going to open up content, and there is the link setting. So then what we'll do here is just drop in the contact page link. So it might be /contact as an example. And that button will then take the visitor to our contact page where they can contact us. Obviously, then you can work with all the styling and spacing and things like that to make it look how you want. I'm just going to scroll up so that we can see it in full. So that looks pretty good. Got some headline, a bit of text that points people towards the button right here, and then a button which is very easy to see on plain background. It's going to grab someone's attention and they'll know exactly what action we want them to take in this section. So once you're happy with that, just click save to save those changes to the site, and then click the little view button here to then preview in a new tab. And now we can see all this above the fold section with its call to action right there. I would tidy this bit up as well so that it's not overlapping the image so much and you can read it a little bit clearer. But as an example, that's what it looks like. Another thing we can do here too is add a call to action to our navigation bar up here, or a header up here. And we can add a button like contact or get a quote or something like that. And that way our call to action is always visible no matter where someone is on the site. So that's a pretty cool place to do it. I'm just going to show you how to quickly do this using the setup I've currently got. So we're just going to come over to the customizer here, open that. And then to edit our header here in the customizer, we're just going to click on header. That'll open up the header builder right here. And we're just going to click in this area here to add an element to the header. And that element is a button. So just click on that. And we can see our button is there by our primary menu. We can swap them around if we want. I think that's a good position. And we can see it's already called Contact Me, as if by magic. So to change any of that, we can just click on the button, change the text if we want, and change the link so we can make sure it matches up with our other call to actions if they're all going to the same place. Once you're happy with how that looks and you've selected the visibility settings, etc., and the design settings as well, and you're all happy with it, just click publish, and those changes will now be live on the site. So we can just close this customizer and you can see what that looks like. Two call to action buttons all pointing in the same place. All right, next up, the middle of the page. This one gets overlooked all the time, but it's honestly one of the smartest spots to drop a call to action. By this point, your visitor has already started to trust you. They've read a bit, they're nodding along, they're interested. But if you don't give them a nudge here, they might scroll past and get distracted. Or worse, bounce before they see your footer call to action. Okay, so we're back on our demo site, and I'm just going to scroll down and find a place that we're going to add this next call to action. So we're going to scroll down. So we've got services section here. We've got a testimonial section here, and we've got an about section right here as well. So I think just below this about section, we could add a call to action. You could add it a bit further up if you wanted to, if it makes sense, but I'm just going to add it about here, and then we'll see what that looks like. So to do that, I'll do scroll back up, click edit page to open up the block editor. Then I'm going to scroll down to that section that we picked before. So we're just going to add it below here. So I can click on the add block button here. And in the search bar, I'm just going to type in container. I like adding containers to things. You can use columns or rows or whatever you want. I'm just going to add the container right here. And then for this container, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add two blocks. I'm going to add a heading block and a button block. So I'm just going to click on the plus button there and then add a heading. I'm just going to grab that one there, add it in place. Then I'm just going to click inside the heading, hit enter to add another block underneath. And this time I'll do a shortcut, I'll do / and then button. That's another cool way that you can add blocks quickly to your design. So I'm just going to click on this button right here, which is the one we used earlier. And then I want all this centered. I'm just going to center this text right here. So I'm going to come over to the settings panel, click on center, and that's going to add that to the middle there. Then we want to create some more space around this. So I'm just going to grab the container, which everything is inside of, and then go to style here, click on spacing, and then let's give it some padding, 100 padding all round, and then see how that looks. And for this, I might give it a border as well, so I'll just give it a slight border. A solid border so that it draws the eye, and the width for that border is 2 as well. I just did that before I selected the style. And then we can change the heading. We're going to change it to say something like, curious if this could work for your site. And then below that on the button, we'll just change the text for the button to book a free strategy call. So slightly different to the contact me button, but it aims to be going to the same place. We could jazz this up a little bit. We could add a background image. We could change the colors of the text, but this is just an idea of where to place a call to action and how to get that started. Yes, we can make it a little bit different. And I'd suggest as well, if you haven't already done it, within the block editor, just click on the block inserter here, click on patterns, and then click on call to actions. And they have some pretty good designs that come in either with themes or the WordPress designs themselves. So yes, we've got a bunch of different little call to actions here that you could use on your site. And like I said, different themes have different patterns, so you could find one that works for you. You can also, if you build one and you like how you've designed it, you can also click on the 3 dots here and create a pattern and then save that pattern to use across your site. That's a really quick way to save a bit of time. So if you've designed a call to action, it's really, really fantastic, you really like it, it's got a good image and good layout, then save it as a pattern and use it throughout the site as well. But like I said, this is just a demonstration of where to put a call to action. From here, we can see what this looks like. We're just going to save it to make sure those changes are saved to the page. Then we go to preview, preview in a new tab, and then we can scroll down. We've got our call to action there. We scroll down, and we've got a call to action there, which grabs your eye as well. All right, last but definitely not least, the bottom of the page. This one's classic and for good reason. If someone scrolls all the way to the end of your page or blog post, they're into it. They've gotten value, they trust you. That's your chance to offer the next step. Not a sales pitch, but a soft transition. Okay, so on our demo page, let's scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, past our call to action in the middle, and then we're at the bottom here. And there's nothing here. So we're going to change that right now. So just going to click on edit page, open up the block editor again, scroll down to the bottom of the page where we just were. And now we're going to add a call to action section right here. So again, I'm just going to click here and I'm just going to see if I can add a container to this section right here. Just going to make that one container. And then inside this container, I'm going to add another container right there. So we've got 2 containers, one inside another. And then the parent container, the one that's the full width here, I'm just going to change this style settings and I'm going to add 100 padding all the way around. So then we've got some space around the container in the middle. Then the middle container, I'm just going to click on the add block button and then I'm going to add columns to this container. And I'm going to add a 50-50 that divide into 2 columns right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a heading and a button and an image right here as well. So let's just do that. Let's add that heading and button right here. I'm just going to click on the add block button right there and then add a heading And then in this heading, I'm just going to type, want help applying my ideas to your own site. This is a H2 at the moment. I'm just going to change it to a H3 to make it a bit smaller. And then below that, I'm going to add a button. Now, I could add another button block below this. I could do it the way that I did it before. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up. And as this is for a book, a free call again, I'm just going to duplicate and then move this button down into that column below. So just click on the button, click on the three dots. So we're just going to make sure that we've got the section selected for that button. I'm just going to click on options and then duplicate. That's added that button below there. I'm just going to click on the drag option and I'm going to drag this down below the heading there. You can see it's highlighted, and I'm going to align that to the left. So by doing that, you would have copied all of the settings for that button as well. So we've got our button. I'll just change the text in this button and get rid of that text. And I'm going to type schedule a free call. Okay, so we've got heading and button in place. We're just going to add an image to this side. So I'm just going to click on the add block button there. I'm just going to type in image. And then I'm going to choose this image block right here, add that in. And then to add an image, I'm just going to click on the media library. And then I'm going to select, I think it is, this one is the biggest one. I'm going to select that image right there. Select that and add it in. And I'm just going to drag and make this image a bit bigger. Okay, that's fine. And this background here, I'm just going to change the color of it slightly. So click on background, then type color, and then select, I'll go for this light gray color right there so it stands out a little bit more than the main website background. Okay, and then let's fix this right here. So this doesn't look too good, so I'm just going to grab this column, going to go to the main column section, and then we're in the container settings, so go up to the container settings, and I'm going to go to general, custom width. I'm going to drop this down slightly to 90, and then to align this so that it's centered to the button, just going to click in the column here and then click on the change vertical alignment and then just align to the middle. Now we've got that centered with that, so that looks pretty good. And we can style this as we want. So now we've got a call to action section at the bottom of our page right here, guiding people to schedule a free call. So once you're happy with that, obviously I would change the design and tweak it a little bit so it fits in a little bit better. But once you're happy with that, then click save to save those changes, and then preview by clicking on view and then preview in a new tab. And now if we scroll through our page, we can see we've got two call to action buttons there, one in the heading, one in above the fold. We've got one as we go down, so we can see this one right here grabs our attention, and then at the bottom of the page as well. So now we've got three call to actions in three different places on the page, focusing the visitor's attention and telling them the next step to take. And here's a quick bonus tip. Your site footer is also call to action gold. Drop in a simple let's work together link or an email opt-in. That way, even if someone scrolls without reading, they still have a next step. So now you've seen it in action. One call to action above the fold, one midway through your page, one at the very end, plus the footer bonus. And the best part, you can use the same call to action in all three places, as long as it fits the context. Think of it like a helpful guide. You're not yelling buy now at people. You're quietly showing them where to go when they're ready. In fact, more research by Hotjar suggests that repeating a call to action throughout a page actually helps convert different types of readers: skimmers, scrollers, and the detail nerds. What you're doing is you're making it easy for your visitors to engage without them needing to guess, scroll forever, or dig through your navigation bar. Now, if you've got some value from this video, make sure you give it a like and leave us a comment below if you've got any questions. I'll make sure I try and answer as many as possible. I've been Ryan, this is WP Beginner, and I'll see you in the next video.